Hi, and welcome back to AI This Month, where we'll catch you up to date with all the latest AI news you might have missed. This month, we'll be sharing breaking research into the state of AI, such as how different companies are using it. We'll also jump into latest product news, and there's a lot of product news, such as Google's new CodeGemma, which is a series of models trained specifically for coding that you can add to your development workflows, latest releases from OpenAI, Mistral, and Hugging Face, and the newest AI cybersecurity threats and trends you should be aware of. And if you stick through that, you'll get to see me dance. Reward? Punishment? You decide. All right, let's dive straight in, starting with industry news. We're now at the point in time where more companies are using AI than those who aren't, and that's according to Stanford University research that was released this month. Now, as of right now, 55% of organizations are using AI, and that's up from 20% in 2017. And you can call that the ChatGPT effect, if you will. Now, the top users, get prepared for a few statistics. 26% of companies are using AI for contact center automation, which is the low-hanging fruit. 23% for the personalization of customer messaging, 22% for customer acquisition and AI-based enhancements of products, and 19% for the creation of new AI-based products. Now, as I said, that's a lot of percentages. So if you're looking at adopting AI into your business, those are the hot areas right now to consider. A caveat on that, however, is that only 12% of technologists have experience working with AI, according to Pluralsight research. So there's going to be a barrier between company aspirations and proper innovation and implementation of AI in 2024. Now, in the list of things that the world needs and was apparently desperately lacking is an AI beauty pageant. Ever since AI landed, there have been models and influencers who have been created from scratch with AI. And now apparently, because they felt excluded, they can jockey for the title of Miss AI. Yes, I'm not kidding. The contestants are judged on their look and pose, the technical skill that went into creating them, such as detailing around the hands, the eyes, and the background, and how much engagement they've generated with fans. The winner gets a $5,000 cash prize. AI men apparently will need to wait for future contests because we've got to keep things traditional for some reason with our use of cutting-edge innovative technology. This is the timeline that I currently live in. This month, Google has released its AI Sprinters report, and this report shares ways that governments and international organizations can seize on the AI boom and use that to deal with challenges like poor infrastructure, youth unemployment, uneven access to education and healthcare, and food insecurity, which they're all really good things to solve. Anyway, according to Google's research, 71% of developing nations said that AI has had a positive impact on their access to information, health, education, and work. And that impact was stronger in those nations than in developed nations such as Europe and the US, where just over 50% said that AI had shown a positive impact. And of course, as we mentioned earlier, Australia, Europe, and the US are all fairly anxious about the consequences of AI. The areas that Google thinks AI can potentially help developing nations are just so many. Farmers, startups, access to government services, disaster prediction, and more. I would honestly run out of breath before I even finished. So if you're interested in seeing what that long list looks like, I'd highly recommend checking out their AI Sprinter report. Now, this month saw the release of CodeGemma, which is a family of open access versions of Google's lightweight Gemma models. And these models specialize in code, which is pretty exciting if you're a programmer. Now, these models come in 3 different flavors: vanilla, strawberry, and chocolate. Nah, I'm just kidding. They come in a 2B base model that specializes in infilling and open-ended generation. Comes in a 7B model that specializes in code completion and generation from code prefixes and suffixes. And there's another 7B model that the user can chat with about code. Now, these models have been trained on 500 billion tokens of mostly English language data. And this comes from web documents, mathematics, and code. And these CodeGemma models support a wide variety of languages. They support Python, JavaScript, Kotlin, C++, C#, Rust, Go, just a whole bunch. And with these models, you can complete lines, functions, or entire blocks of your code. And you can also integrate these models into your development environment to streamline your workflows. So yeah, go check it out. This month, OpenAI released a new version of GPT-4. With that, they surged back to the top of the chatbot leaderboards after being dethroned by Anthropic's Claude 3 last month. Now, this new version is called GPT-4 Turbo with Vision, and like its name suggests, the model has vision capabilities. I see. And so these vision requests can use a JSON mode and function calling. The knowledge cutoff was updated to April 2024. Now, the context window hasn't changed, and that's still sitting at 128,000 tokens. Now, on the chatbot arena leaderboards, GPT-4 Turbo is tied right now with Claude 3 Opus. And if you're not familiar with Opus, it's Anthropic's most advanced large language model. And at this point, it's anybody's game. OpenAI has also said that it's adding new features to help developers have more control over fine-tuning and offering new ways to build custom models. No doubt reading the winds here that people are looking for some more customization with the increasing demand for open source and open weight models. It introduced new features for developers such as epoch-based checkpoint creation, a comparative playground for comparing model quality performance, third-party integration support, more comprehensive validation metrics, and hyperparameter configuration from the dashboard. It's also announced an assisted fine-tuning offering as part of the custom model program, where you can get support from OpenAI's technical teams when refining your model. So for example, if you want to train it in a specific language other than English for localized customer service models, you can definitely do that and reach out to get a bit of help. So in other news, Meta has released early versions of its Llama 3 open weights AI model. Now this model is good for text composition, code generation, or use in chatbots. Now at the moment, Llama 3 is available in two parameter sizes, 8 billion and 70 billion. And you can get both as free downloads through Meta's website. All you need to do is sign up. Now Llama 3 comes in pre-trained and instruction-tuned models, and both of these have an 8,192 token context limit. Meta is working on a 400 billion parameter version of Llama 3, which is expected to compete with GPT-4 Turbo, Claude 3 Opus, and Gemini Ultra. Now Meta plans to host Llama 3 on a range of cloud platforms such as AWS, Databricks, Google Cloud, and others, so you'll be able to access this model on those services. The model is going to be the new basis of the Meta AI virtual assistant, which will feature prominently in Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Messenger, and it has a dedicated website with a design very similar to ChatGPT. Google's Gemini 1.5 Pro is now generally available in over 180 countries, except for Europe, via the Gemini API. Now this is Google's most powerful public API, and it has a free tier that allows 50 requests per day. It supports 1 million tokens of input. So if you're wondering about the cost, the API price is $7 per million input tokens and 21 per output tokens. And that's a little less than GPT-4 Turbo and a little bit more than Claude 3 Sonnet, which is Anthropic's mid-tier LLM. Gemini's edge is that it has native audio input processing that lets users upload video audio prompts, and a new file API for handling files, the ability to add custom system instructions for guiding model responses, and a JSON model for structured data extraction. Now, French AI company Mistral has also been jumping into the competition, releasing the openly licensed Mixtral 8x 2BB model this month. In a bit of unusual marketing strategy, Mistral has just tweeted a torrent link with no commentary on X with the model, which it's done with previous releases. And this new mixture of experts, or MOE release, is rumoured to potentially be as capable as GPT-4, but there's no hard evidence yet. If so though, this would be the first openly licensed model that performs as well as proprietary options, and one that you could run on a high-end laptop. Thought I was done with the model announcements? Not just yet. Hugging Face has also released IDFix 2. And IDFix is a general multimodal that takes texts and images input and generates text responses. It can answer questions about images, create stories grounded in multiple images, extract information from documents, and perform basic arithmetic operations. IDFix 2 has 8B parameters, an open Apache 2.0 license, enhanced optical character recognition, and is integrated into Hugging Face transformers from the get-go. This means that you can easily fine-tune it for many multimodal applications. Right now, the AI companies are fighting it out, but so too are the processor manufacturers who want those companies to be using their hardware. AMD, Nvidia, and Intel are all desperately trying to outdo each other with new chip releases. Now this month we've had two major chip releases in this space from AMD and Intel, both in response to Nvidia's announcement of its own Blackwell chip for AI last month. Now with Intel, we've got the Gaudi 3 AI accelerator chip, which is designed to compete with Nvidia's H100, which is a popular data center GPU that's been subject to shortages. Now this chip claims a 50% faster training time than the H100, but with Nvidia's H200 due to come out any day now and the Blackwell B200 on the horizon, the market leader is likely to switch around very fast. AMD has also announced a new series of semiconductors for AI-enabled business laptops and desktops, which is now dubbed the emerging AI PC market. These chips are expected to be available in HP and Lenovo platforms in Q2 2024, which is pretty much any day now, so keep your eyes peeled. The AI PC market has risen with the demand for consumer hardware that can develop and run complex AI programs. Now, Nvidia has its own AI PC chips available already, the GeForce RTX Super, which you can go out and get, so the competition is pretty fierce. Intel predicts it will ship approximately 40 million AI PCs in 2024 alone. And now for something completely different. This month, a group of ex-DeepMind employees launched Udio, an AI music synthesis service where you can type in a prompt and get it to generate high-fidelity music for you, along with automatically generated lyrics, which, you can also customize yourself if you don't like them. It's currently free to use during a beta period, and you can use it to make all different kinds of genres, you name it. Country, German pop, hard rock, hip hop, techno, and more. We played a bit with Udio to see how it worked, and it was fairly simple. You type in something like write a theme song for an AI news show. Hit create, wait a few minutes, and voila. You can see the lyrics it suggested, edit them to something you like more, remix the track to be a little bit different, change the variants, and just generally play around until you get the results you want. Now here's a song it generated for AI this month. Hit it.
We can scroll the news across the screen, feel that digital pulse. Flashing lights with stories yet unseen. Breaking codes, I know we're dialed in tighter. Rolling now.
Yeah, so you can create formulaic music on demand. This is bad news for any band that rhymes with stickleback. And as you know, it's probably not great news for professional musicians as well. In terms of training data, Udio hasn't revealed the specific details on what it used. It did tell Tom's Guide that the system had been built in a way that it could identify and block tracks that too closely resemble the work of specific artists. Now, Udio claims no rights over the music that's generated, so it can be used for commercial purposes. Now, Udio isn't the first solution like this on the market, and there's also Suno available, another popular solution. In comparison, Suno performs better results off the bat, but Udio allows songs to be extended or regenerated with different results. And with that, let's leap into security news. This month, Anthropic's team discovered a jailbreaking technique that can evade security guardrails put in place by the developers of large language model. And this technique is called many-shot jailbreaking. It's effective on Anthropic's own models and those of other AI companies. Now, since discovering it, Anthropic's implemented mitigation techniques in their own systems and briefed other AI developers. So how does the many-shot technique work? Well, it takes advantage of the large context windows that most LLMs have. You include a large amount of text in a specific configuration, and this forces the LLM to produce harmful results. And it's actually a very simple technique to use. Normally, people try and use few-shot jailbreaking when they ask an LLM to do something illegal, like, how do I hijack a car and steal somebody's identity? Most LLMs flag this and say, sorry, I can't tell you this, Dave, that is bad. But with many-shot jailbreaking, you ask a ton of these requests, like about 200 in a row, and this jailbreaks the model, causing it to offer an answer to the final potentially dangerous request. Kind of like nagging a parent over and over again, going, oh, we're there yet, are we there yet, are we there yet? Eventually the parent will break down and give an unusual response. So the more questions you ask or shots that you fire, the greater the chance of getting this response. Anthropic has also found that by combining this technique with other previously published jailbreaking techniques, makes it even more effective, reducing the length of the prompt that you need. Now, the reason that it works is because LLMs try and learn from the context you're giving it without any later fine-tuning. It's only looking at that very particular window and trying to use the information you're giving it to help you out. And the longer the prompt, the more power your prompt has over its thinking. So how do you solve it? You could shorten the context window so you wouldn't be able to put that many shots in it. But that's not really optimal for the user experience. Having a long prompt window is actually useful for when you want to give the LLM a lot of information and have it digest it. You could train it to refuse queries that look like many-shot jailbreaks, but according to Anthropic's research, this is just going to delay but not solve the problem. So Anthropic succeeded in solving the problem by using a method to classify and modify a prompt before it's passed to the model. And this reduced the attack success rate from 61% to 2%. Now, it's good that companies like Anthropic are doing their due diligence on proactively identifying and tackling these risks and sharing fixes to the wider community. So, kudos. And that's it. Whew, you're all up to date. If you want to stay up to speed with all the latest news, be sure to follow us on our YouTube channel. You can also check out the Pluralsight blog, where we're constantly releasing news on AI, as well as other technology topics and tutorials. And, totally shameless plug, no pressure, but if you want to stay up to date with AI and upskill yourself, jump onto the Pluralsight learning platform, where you can take courses on AI written by technologists for technologists. and non-technologists as well if you want to dip your foot in. Anyway, I'll be here next month to catch you up with the latest, and as always, keep being awesome, gurus.